There we go. You there?
I'm here, baby. I'm here.
All right.
We just started practice. We just started practices. Tua's throwing a couple of red zone TDs. I think today is a red zone day. Every time Tua does anything good, if he takes a fart good, the crowd cheers.
All right. Well, that's good. Well, I mean, as long as he throws a good fart and it's dry, doesn't leave any stains, then he's all right. And he's good. All right. That's the way to start off the interview. Okay, I like it. All right.
Devontae Parker is back, by the way. Devontae Parker is practicing today.
Nice.
X is not practicing, still a hold-in. Flores actually addressed and said that there's progress being made regarding the contract dispute, or it's headed in the right direction. Let me paraphrase that properly, which basically means that they're having some sort of dialogue and discussion about improving the deal.
Okay. All right. That would be a miracle. I did not believe that was going to happen. I believe more that they would get traded.
Neither did X.
Yeah.
But it seems like Parker's troublesome ankle and and the fact that the secondary is being roasted. I've never seen anything like it ever in my 13 years covering this team. They have been carved up by every single quarterback here. Has got their attention.
Yeah. Well, again, no hitting. So until I start seeing hitting, then I can measure everything going on, timing and everything else. The receivers have too much of an advantage right now when there's no hitting going on.
Absolutely.
Overall. By the way, I was going to ask you, is Parker playing tight end since they have no tight end?
Jakeem Grant just scored a touchdown in red zone from Brissett. Just so you can explain your cheers there.
Okay.
What was the question?
Is Parker playing tight end since they have no tight ends?
Oh, stop it. They have like 3 tight ends on the rock. There are 3 here. There are 3 still healthy.
So you mean Shaheen didn't get everybody else infected?
Stop it. It's not Shaheen. Why are you blaming it on Shaheen? Listen, this is just the nature of the NFL now. And we've had this discussion, me and you, for the last 2 weeks. They're testing players every 2 weeks. Right now, we know that people are contracting COVID, especially this new variant, even if you've had the vaccine.
I know.
So let me ask you a question. What do you think happens when they go to Burger King, get a burger for somebody who has COVID, and then come back to practice, sit up in meetings rooms for the next week, to go to lunch, sit in lunch table with each other for the next week, and that one player who had a bad experience at his burger joint catches COVID, interacts with the team for 5-6 days, sits in his team meeting room, talks to his team position coach, gives a fist bump to the Gatorade guy. What do you think is possibly going to happen when that player tests the next 2 weeks, or the team tests the next 2 weeks?
Oh, I'm with you. Have you seen Adam Shaheen's Twitter page?
I have, and I don't judge anybody based on their Twitter page, based on the fact that you would judge me based on my Twitter page. Yes.
But it says, I will not comply. So I'm just saying, and he's got a whole bunch of Cole Beasley quotes there. So, I'm just looking at him. He's an anti-vaxxer. So that might be a guy that he's actually putting himself at risk of getting cut. If somebody's his equal, they're going to go, well, let's take the vaccinated guy, not the unvaccinated guy.
Yeah, but here's the thing. And people want to sit here and blame it on the vaccine player, the unvaccinated player. And that's not fair. It's not responsible. It's not healthy. An unvaccinated player has just as much a chance as catching COVID from his fast food spot as a vaccinated player. An unvaccinated player has just as much a chance of spreading COVID throughout the locker room as a vaccinated player. I'm not going to sell that narrative to people. I am vaccinated. You are vaccinated. We have just as much a chance, especially with this new variant, of catching COVID and spreading it. I didn't say getting sick from COVID, but catching COVID and spreading it to our coworkers and our teammates just as much as Adam Shaheen. So I don't like the fact that people want to sit here and blame that there's an infection rate in the tight end room on Adam Shaheen because he's a non-vaxxer. That's not fair. That's not responsible. That's not reasonable. You and I can catch COVID just as fast and spread it just as much as Adam Shaheen. What we cannot do is we probably won't get as sick as Adam Shaheen because we have the antibodies in our body. Now, now that Adam Shaheen has COVID and he has the antibodies in his body, he shouldn't need the vaccine. Like there's an antibody load that you could test, and you could do an antibody test, and you can learn this. I know all this because my mind's in the medical field.
Although I don't know how long the antibodies last compared
to
the vaccine.
They do not last long.
Okay,
and
so that's probably why you're better off still getting the vaccine.
And in fact, they will tell you now or next month that, you got vaccinated, but you got vaccinated if you're in the elderly endangered community. You probably need to get vaccinated every 6 months because your viral load goes down. And they've studied it, and I believe the Johnson & Johnson goes down the worst after 6 months.
Well, yeah.
This is things.
Johnson & Johnson was for the people in a hurry. They only wanted to get one shot.
And if you had caught COVID, you probably were recommended had caught COVID previously. You're probably recommended to get the Johnson & Johnson because you just needed one viral load to boost your viral load. This is here, and here's the thing. Understand. And people have to understand, yes, the CDC, the medical community, the doctors are all making this stuff up as they go because they're all just figuring it out.
Of course.
When my wife was pregnant, they were absolutely not. Do not get the vaccine. We don't know what the vaccine does to pregnant women. And then by the time we had our baby, it became, you need to go get the vaccine because the vaccine passes, the antibodies pass to the babies of the breast milk. And then my baby was a month old, and they were telling all pregnant women to get the vaccine. We are making this stuff up as we go, and we're figuring out, and it's trial and error, and people are going to die. But you're safer with the vaccine than without the vaccine.
Well, no, I mean, I got Trey here who says, if you're under 50, COVID ain't making you sick. Meanwhile, there are more people actually in hospitals now, under 40 actually, than there was in the first go-around. But see, people like Trey, you're freaking lost, and you say stupid ass stuff like, if you're under 50, COVID ain't making you sick. Hey, Trey, way to go with the stupid ass comment of the day. Nice job by you on the board. Way to go, Trey. Nice job by you. Thank you for watching the show and all that, but thank you for the stupid ass comment too. We can make fun of it. It's awesome. Anyway, look up the facts there, Trey, for once in your life. All right, so what do you read into the changes on the O-line? Because if you're not hitting, how in the hell do you know who belongs where? So is it more about somebody not knowing mentally what they're supposed to do? Because I can't imagine Skura doesn't know mentally what he's supposed to do. So how does Dieter overtake him when you're not hitting?
Okay, let me clarify the Dieter situation because I think that doesn't really have anything to do with depth chart. Dieter's a third-round pick. They're going to give him every possible chance to win that job because he is a Flores and a Greer draftee as opposed to Skura, who is just a roster filler, camp body. There's no upside in investing in him. If he's clearly the better guy, they'll go with Skura. I have watched the first week of practice, and even without pads, Skura is on the ground way too much for my liking, my personal liking. Let me move on to depth.
And so wait a minute before you go there. So then the same thing is going on with Jesse then, because Jesse's been here a while. They're giving him a legitimate shot to be the right tackle. Okay.
Actually, I could clarify all of that for you. I asked today, you know how much I love offensive line. Jesse is on a management program. Jesse has obviously there's a knee issue or a leg issue that Jesse's had since OTA. He's on a rep count for practice. He participates in the early portion, does not participate in the second half. Jesse, they know Jesse can play everything but center. Jesse is right now penciled in as a starter if he can stay healthy. I'm bothered by whatever this issue is that he has with his right knee. They had Adam Eichenberg. I hope I said his name correct. I'm struggling with his name.
Eichenberg is right.
They had Adam Eichenberg at left guard. He's traditionally played right tackle during camp here. They moved him to left guard. And Flores clarified it and said, it's about being able to cross-train these guys. If something happens in a game and he's not a starter, we need to be able to move you over there or move you here and you play this position. So they're basically making him the Jesse Davis Jr. right now in terms of cross-chaining him to play a lot of positions. And Flores has been adamant about this for 3 years and never ever wavered. he is going to play the top 5 offensive linemen and figure out where they play. He doesn't care what position they are. My top 5 guys play.
Right. So in other words, read nothing into what you've seen on the changes of the O-line until we start getting into games then.
Actually, yes, until we put on pads and then we get into joint practices and then we get into games.
Right.
But
That's
I think
mean.
you can read something into the fact that Solomon Kinley is now a 13 guard.
Okay, yes. You
without a doubt can read something into that.
Yeah.
And
that has to do either with conditioning or it has to do with preparation, because it can't be really play because they're not hitting. So it has to be something in the other areas, correct?
I am not a huge Solomon Kinley fan. As people who follow me know, I thought he was the worst performer of the offensive lineman last year, and it was a consistent thing. It wasn't just a fluke thing. He's John Jerry Jr. in my mind. He's a very respectable player in pass protection, gives you nothing in the run game. And until he gives you something in the run game, I have absolutely no use for him. And that's just my personal opinion. And I hope this new offensive line coach has the same approach, because in my mind, if you improve this run game, you will make this team and this offense dynamic. And if you don't improve this run game, you're just going to be a mediocre offense like you've always been.
Well, no, if you don't improve the run game, then you will have our 77th offensive line coach in 3 years.
Fourth and fifth in 3 years. Yes,
I'm Cuban, bro. We exaggerate. Okay, remember, it's a law for Cubans. We exaggerate. All right, so we look at. I gotta say, Tua again, not hitting, so I don't measure much, but he looked good on Saturday.
Tua's look good. Tua's look good. There's no, and as Flores says it, I'm glad Flores says it, and I don't say it. But today, Flores says he's looked good. He knows the offense, praised him for his accuracy, but he says he's got a long way to go, and it's super early. And they haven't even installed their blitz packages yet. When they install their blitz packages, maybe we can talk about what Tua looks like. It's a long process. The arm looks phenomenal. The accuracy is amazing. The decision making is impeccable. I have never seen this offense look better in terms of being more explosive. But that leads me to wonder, how much is this secondary trash without Xavier? And two, what's it going to look like when it faces somebody else? Because the defense has to be embarrassed by what they put on the field last week, because they were getting roasted. As I wrote in my 10 things to look, 10 things we learned from week 1. The number one standout was that the offense was carving up the defense like a Thanksgiving turkey all week. No exceptions.
Yeah,
there was no.
But I saw completions on Saturday that would have been sacks. They weren't.
Yes, there were. Yes,
so
completions on Saturday that would have been sacks. Absolutely, no question about that.
And I'm sure that's happening every day until I see a real pass rush that will then complement the secondary. At this point in time, I can't put any weight in anything right now.
You're correct.
I mean,
I'll share a story with you. Probably one of the better. Chad Pennington was the best practice performer I'd ever seen. And then Ryan Fitzpatrick is really good too. But you know who's a great practice performer? Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler can carve you up as a defense when he doesn't have to fear being hit.
Right.
And he was a completely different quarterback in a game than he was at practice, because he was terrified of being hit.
Right.
And if he felt footsteps, that ball was coming early. He didn't care where it went. He didn't care who it was close to. He just didn't care. And that kind of, you're right. You got to see pressure, players with pressure. Right now, Tua doesn't have to worry about getting hit.
Right.
So he's sitting there a little bit longer. He's and he's really got good pocket presence. I love his pocket presence. His pocket presence and his accuracy and his leadership intangibles, those are the reason why I advocated for the Dolphins to draft him. And I have never been disappointed at one moment in any of those 3 instances.
And by the way, he will excel at ad-libbing too. That's the other thing. It just hasn't developed as much here yet because he hasn't been a full-time starter. But I saw it at Alabama at times. He can ad-lib also, and to me, that's the sign of a guy having a chance to be a great quarterback. The great quarterbacks can perform under chaos. That things happen, they break down. Somebody blows a tackle, but then you've got to roll out somewhere and find somebody. That's where he's going to excel at being crafty back there when things break down. You'll see.
Yeah, he just threw a touchdown pass to Albert Wilson, but they're doing 7-on-7 red zone, so it's like it's easy money for that drill.
By the way, apparently your boy Jakeem Grant has played well. He
had
a couple catches on Saturday.
Yeah, he's stepping up. He's stepping up. It'll be interesting. I'm curious to see where people would stack him up. Oh, this is not 7-on-7. This is half field drills. Yeah, Tua throws touchdowns which is great. He just threw a touchdown to, I believe, Savon. Yeah, Ahmed.
Okay.
So it's defense has got a lot of work to do. This is really one of the first times I've seen that the offense is really, really ahead of the defense.
Yeah, and listen, I think he's a lock to make the team because the second half of the receiving group, Jakeem.
Jakeem?
Yeah, because I know you don't think so, but I think he's a lock because the second half of the receiving core has to help you out on special teams. And they got a shitload of guys that don't help you out on special teams. So those are the guys that are like as much as Albert Wilson's playing well, I think he gets traded. They don't keep him because he doesn't help you out on special teams.
Yeah, you got a point. There's some merit to that.
Alan Hearns doesn't help you out on special teams. Preston Williams, if he can't stay healthy and ball out, he doesn't help you out on special teams. Devontae Parker, your starters.
Preston has been a gunner his rookie year, so
yeah, but he's not a gunner on this team right now. You know what I'm saying?
You got Mac Hollins as a gunner, but yeah, I think Preston could be a gunner. Preston's been a punt returner, a gunner. Remember, he got hurt as a punt returner, so a guy that can't stay healthy, you're going to put him in a collision position. No, I don't even know if he's going to be a starter. I mean, no. Here's how I see this receiving core. You got Parker, who's practicing today. We'll see what he does. You got Fuller, you got Waddle, and then you got Albert. There's no way I'm taking Albert out of the equation. That's four very talented.
Albert has to be an everyday starter in order for him to make it on this team.
Albert Wilson?
Yeah.
Albert Wilson, there's no doubt he's on this team. Albert Wilson's been the top playmaker every single day.
I think he'll be traded if anything.
Oh, wow.
Now, if he makes
I don't support that.
If he makes the team, that means the guys that we thought were going to be front line, like Parker and Williams,
drop the touchdown.
Somebody fell off the board there. Is what I'm saying.
Damn it! Who just dropped the touchdown? Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
All right, no, I'm just saying that in order for him to be one of the starters, the guys that we penciled in as starters had to have failed at some point here in the next few weeks. Like
guys that we penciled in as starters have had to have failed. Yeah,
like
or got hurt, or gotten hurt. Yeah,
right.
No. You saying for Albert? No, Albert right now. There's no way you take him out of the starting lineup. There's I don't care who you got to replace. There's no way I'm putting Fuller over him right now. Albert,
you're going off too much football without
understand. I've watched 13 years of practice, and I know you know what the deal is in terms of watching practice.
Yeah.
The most dominant performer I've ever seen on a practice field has been Brandon Marshall, and that was when he first got here. He absolutely dominated Vontae and Sean Smith and everybody else, and just imposed his will on the field. I have never seen anything ever in my career like I saw from Albert Wilson last week. Nothing.
Yeah, but
nothing.
There's no pads going on. I can't.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I watch a lot of practice without pads. I watch practice without hitting. I've never seen anything like Albert Wilson.
I can't.
I know you can't buy it. I wouldn't have tried to sell it to you until I saw it last week. I've never seen anything like that. Touchdowns every day. Big plays every day. Roasting safeties every day. The 2018 version of Albert Wilson, who led the NFL in yards after the catch, that guy is back. Before he got hurt and suffered the hip injury, that guy is back. And in fact, I think he's better than that guy because he's slimmer, he moves better. I would have never, ever, ever expected this from Albert Wilson. Never, ever in a million years.
I got to see more, bro, before I go, overboard for Albert Wilson.
All you got to do is go on the Dolphins page and look at their daily highlights. Albert Wilson is the highlight every day, and they produce all the clips of all his big plays, and they're all phenomenal. They're all not, Tua is holding on to the ball too long, and it would have been a sack. Nah, it's Albert's phenomenal, and he's roasting guys. They're about to start 11 on 11.
All right. And listen, by the way, the O-line was the same as it was on Saturday. Jesse, Hunt, Dieter, Eichenberg, and Jackson.
To be honest with you, I have not been able to look because I'm trying to look right now, and they actually started 11 on 11s with the second team, which is weird, but I'll accept it. They started 11 on 11s with the second team offense, and now the second is this the second team defense? Hold on, I'm trying to see. Yeah, this is the second team. So second teams is starting 11 on 11s today, which is not something I'm used to.
So you got Albert Wilson making the team, and he's balling.
Albert Wilson is not making the team. Albert Wilson is a starting receiver for the Dolphins.
And yet Jakeem Grant is balling, but you don't have him making the team.
Jakeem Grant is not balling. Jakeem Grant has had a couple of good days. Albert Wilson is balling. I've never seen anybody in a Dolphins uniform practice the way that Albert Wilson practiced last year. I mean, last week. And I've been here 13 years. I've been here 13 years, Big O.
You're killing
13.
You're killing JG, bro. You're not giving him any love.
Okay. Sorry. I'm not feeding the Jakeem Grant hater. Omar's a Jakeem Grant hater fuel. If Jakeem makes this team, it'll be as a punt returner and a specialist, and I believe he has more trade value. He has trade value that you need to use to go get you another asset.
All right, go do the 11 on 11s. Go do your work, my man. I appreciate you taking some time here on the EJDconstruction.com.
You're not getting me on that Jakeem Grant hate train today. Nah, I'm not. Jakeem wanted to fight me as a rookie. I'm gonna wait it out this trade, and I'm gonna survive.
You're the best, my brother.
All right.
I'll talk to you later in the week. You be good. There you go. Omar.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.